Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Player Signing Show presented by Lippes Mathias, attorneys at law. I'm Guy Carenza, and tonight, if you can believe it, we've hit double digits, and we're welcoming the 10th Gladiator to the squad this season. We've had forwards, defensemen come in, and I think it's about time we added another defenseman, as the last few that we brought on have been forwards. If you're new to the Player Signing Show experience, let me tell you how it works. So we're going to welcome the newest Gladiator to the squad in just a moment. He's going to join me live on the show. This is your opportunity to ask him any question you want, and we'll get to it in the second half of the show. And of course, as always, for those of you who are returning, welcome back. I'm happy to see you on the show. And without further ado, we're bringing a Gladiator to the squad who is entering his first full season as a pro. He does have some experience at the professional level under his belt, got in 8 games with the Bloomington Bison last season. He was acquired in a trade earlier this summer from Bloomington. He's a right shot defenseman, standing at 6'3", 195 pounds, coming all the way from New York, New York. It is my honor to introduce to you the newest Gladiator, Jack Robilotti. Jack, thank you so much for joining me on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me on, Guy. I'm super excited to be here and to be a Glad.
I'm looking forward to seeing you hit the ice this season in a Gladiators jersey. Tell me, what excites you the most about coming to Atlanta and becoming a Gladiator?
Yeah, I'm super excited to get down to Atlanta. I think first and foremost, it's just about the organization. I've heard nothing but good things. I've also an alumni of the same school as Coach Ginn, and from talking to players who played with him there and who he's coached. I've heard awesome things, and with that, my parents also lived there for a while, and they had great things to say about Atlanta too. So just the combination of those two, I'm super excited to get down there. I've never been there, so it'll be a little bit of an adjustment for me, but I'm excited and grateful for the opportunity to get down there and play for the Gladiators.
Is there one thing that you're looking forward to doing the most once you get down to Atlanta? Because like myself, you've never been here until this moment, this upcoming season. So is there anything on your bucket list that you're looking forward to doing?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited that I don't really have to pack a winter coat and snow boots this year. I've lived all my life in New England. I spent time in my junior career in North Dakota, so some colder climate places in this country. So I'm excited that I don't have to pack a parka or my snow boots and get in the driveway and start shoveling.
You and me both, man. I'm not much of a cold weather kind of guy, so I think we're going to fit in quite nicely around here. You kind of touched on your college experience earlier. You played for 2 different colleges. Tell me about that experience, and how do you feel like playing at both schools helped prepare you for the pro level?
Yeah, so I played 4 years at Holy Cross, which is in Worcester, Massachusetts, and I had an unbelievable time there. It was a great spot for me to grow as a player, but also as a person, and get a great degree. We had some good teams. We fell short my junior year in the finals and my senior year in the semifinals, which was tough. But because of COVID, everybody was obviously granted an extra year of eligibility. So I decided to take that, and I did my 5th year at the University of Massachusetts Lowell, which is also in Massachusetts, and played in Hockey East Conference, and that combination of playing 5 years and playing in different conferences, especially Hockey East, definitely prepared me, because on any given night I was playing against NHL first round draft picks, NHL caliber players, top 5, top 10 teams in this country. So that mixed with just the overall college schedule, where you're doing a majority of practicing, you're only playing on weekends, you're doing a lot of skill development. I think all that put together really helped prepare me for this next chapter in my playing career and playing professional.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on it earlier. College of the Holy Cross, head coach Matt Ginn, also an alum of that school. Have you guys had any talks about that?
Yes, we've definitely talked about that. There's some traditions and things that was nice to hear that he was doing and that I had the privilege of doing it as well. So that definitely was one of the reasons that drawed me to Atlanta was because of him, and the alumni base there is super tight and always great to each other. So I've actually never personally met him, but I'm excited to meet him and talk more about it.
Yeah, tell me more a little bit about those traditions over there with the Crusaders. Kind of interested. Every school's got its own little thing, so if you can share, please do.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that they started was things that are continuing now, and I think that's really what makes the community so special there, especially the alumni group, because he graduated, I think it was maybe 8 or 9 years in front of me. And we're still carrying on the things that he did. And I'm sure if he talked to people who graduated 8 or 9 years in front of him, they were doing the same stuff, whether that's in the rink, away from the rinks, in the classroom. So it's just great that the sense of community and like we say bleed purple mentality is going strong. And I hope that when I get farther down the line in my life, that if I talk to a younger alumni, they're carrying on those traditions that Coach Ginn did, that I did, that other alumni have as well.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Thank you for sharing. For those of you who are just joining the show, we've got Jack Robilotti, newest member of the Gladiators, with us tonight. He is a defenseman who got in some ECHL experience under his belt last season with the Bloomington Bison, was acquired by the Gladiators in a trade earlier this summer. As we are getting into the second portion of our show, so if you've got a question for Jack, please leave it in the live chat. We will get to it in the second half of tonight's show. And just a friendly reminder, single game tickets, they are on sale, man. And opening night, it is coming up quick. October 18th and 19th, Utah Grizzlies are coming to town. I can't wait for it, and I think those are going to be in high demand. So you better just get them now. You better get your tickets now before they're gone. Sleep tight, knowing that you've secured your seat for opening night. And then, hey, if you want to be in the action all season long, make sure you check out our season ticket packages. We've got some very fantastic ticket reps in the office. They are so good at what they do. They'll hook you up with a full season package, 18 game, 12 game, 7 game. There's something for everybody. So give them a buzz at 770-497-5100, and they'll get you all set and squared away. So, Jack, we kind of touched on it earlier. Spent some time in Bloomington to start the season. That was your first pro experience. Tell me how it went and what you learned from that stint in Bloomington, and what you're looking forward to bringing to the Gladiators this season.
Yeah, it was a great experience for me, and I'm super grateful for the organization for giving me a chance there. I was obviously there at the end of the season after my college season. And we were kind of battling for a playoff spot when I first got there. And I think that the biggest thing I learned was, and I'll still learn on the fly, is just how to be a professional. It's obviously a long season. The college season's only 36 games, and the East Coast season's 72. So I think it really comes down to learning how to be a pro's pro and taking care of your body, eating the right things, stretching, getting in extra work when you need. And I think I've begun to learn that. And then also just how hard these games are. Like I mentioned, we were battling for a playoff spot. It obviously didn't work out. And all those games were just as intense, whether that was a Sunday game, a Friday game, a midweek game. And it just goes to show you how good this league is and how hard it is to get wins in. And you can't take anything for granted. You can't take a night off, because you're not going to get the results you want. And at the end of the day, it comes down to wins and losses. So I think as I continue on to this full season, it's just learning how to be a strong professional and being a consistent player any given night, whether that's game 1 of the season, 35 or 72. So I think that was the biggest takeaway I had.
No, for sure. I love that mentality. For you in Bloomington, do you remember your first game, the first time you stepped out onto the ice out of the tunnel? And do you remember how you felt in that moment?
Yeah, I was definitely nervous. It was probably one of the most nervous I've been in a while in my hockey career. But at the end of the day, it's still the game I love. It's still the game I've been playing since I was 8 years old. It's just a little bit of a different atmosphere, a different place, a different league. So it was the first shift that was maybe a little bit shaky, yeah, but overall throughout the game, I definitely remember getting more comfortable and settling back in, because it really is the same game, just at a little bit of a higher level.
Yeah. Do you remember who your defense partner was that night?
Um, I think it was Carter Berger. Um, he was a lefty. He's been playing for a couple of years. He definitely helped. He was a really good player, and he helped me settle down a little bit throughout that game.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask you if there was a guy on that team that kind of helped ease you into the professional level. As you kind of said, it is a big jump going from college to pro. And I guess a follow-up question to that is, in your experience, in your playing career, what do you think makes a good defense pairing? Obviously, it's communication. Like, you got to know each other like the back of your own hand. But what do you think is the biggest key for a strong defense pairing?
Yeah, like you said, I think it obviously starts with good communication, and following up on that, I think it's just about trust, trusting your partner to make the play, trusting your partner to get the puck over to you when you need, and that just comes from practice and repetitions with that player. If that's staying out after and working on retrievals, or walking the blue line, going D to D, just getting comfortable. With your partner, so you can complement each other when you get on the ice on a game night. But I think, like you said, it does start with the good communication. Then it moves into the trust, because if there's stronger communication, then you'll have trust, and I do believe that results will follow from that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I always wondered. I mean, personally, you watch guys out on the ice, and it's like it just seems like they know each other so well. Is there anything in your past and your experience that helps kind of build that chemistry and build that bond, especially when you may not have a whole ton of time? I mean, maybe you need a couple of games to kind of build that chemistry, or in your case, you come in late towards the end of the season and you got to figure it out pretty quickly. So, was there one thing in particular that helped you build that bond, and did it happen on the ice or maybe off the ice on some kind of
Yeah,
team bonding outing?
I think it I think it does start on the ice with doing extra repetitions, whether that's after practice, having video sessions with your D partner and the coaching staff. I think those can be super beneficial, whether that's watching old film, if you are having a new D partner, and figure out his tendencies versus mine, and where we can mix and match there. But it also, I think it goes beyond the rink. I think some of the best relationships I have, and the closest friends I have in the game of hockey, are also my closest friends off the ice, and I have more to talk to them about stuff we did off the ice versus on the ice. So I think it's really about just getting comfortable with that person, whether that's going to grab a bite to eat after practice and picking their brain about hockey, or just about life in general. But just being comfortable with the defense with your partner is can go a long way, and that starts on the ice, but definitely can be benefited from spending time together away from the rink.
Well, Jack, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you on the ice in a Gladiators jersey this season. And for those of you who are just joining us here on the show tonight, we have Jack Robilotti, newest Gladiator, right shot defenseman all the way from New York, New York, joining us on the show live. And we are just about to the second half of the show, where we are going to answer some of your fan chat questions from the live chat here on the show. But Jack, one more question for you here. Coach Ginn kind of described you as a guy that is tall, has a long reach, is able to keep plays to the outside and really shut down, offensive plays coming your way. How would you describe your game? Would you say you're more of a defensive defenseman? And what kind of went into that during your training and kind of upbringing as your career went on?
Yeah, I would describe myself as first, I take pride in being consistent and playing hard and physical every night. I think that it doesn't matter your talent level, but if you can consistently bring a good work ethic, a good attitude, that's something that I can control any given night, whether I'm playing my best or not. But like you said, I like to consider myself more of a two-way defenseman. Yes, I do take a lot of pride in defending our own zone with my long reach and my skating ability, but I also like to jump up in the play and create secondary offense, whether that's being the fourth guy in on the rush, making plays on the blue line, finding my partner, finding the forwards down low so they can create. But overall, I do take pride and I love getting matched up against the other team's best forward lines, because I do feel that's when I play my best and I can contribute to the team the most.
Yeah, I believe it was Andrew Jarvis. I think it was the first edition of the show where I kind of asked him a similar question. And he said, yeah, I'm not really afraid to jump up into the rush and maybe take a shot every now and then and see if it hits the back of the net. You are still looking for your first professional goal. So I am excited to see that moment happen for you next season. And I look forward to seeing you join the rush and maybe pinch up off the blue line, activate a little bit, and get that first goal, because I think it's going to be pretty sweet. And we're definitely looking forward to seeing you on the ice at Gas South Arena this season. And speaking of Gas South Arena, if you're going to a Glads game, better rep the team colors. And so I've got a couple of headwear picks for you. So we've got some hats available for pre-order. We got a nice looking beanie there at the top. I'm really a big fan of that one. It doesn't get as cold here in the South as it does up in New York, but it can get a little cold, and you got to protect your noggin and you got to protect your ears. So take a look at that hat there. Check out the Gladiators team store for all merch items. And look at that little hat down there at the bottom there. A little bit of copper in there. Sword and Shield logo. Big fan of that. So for all of those, you can click the link in the live chat. Go check out the pre-order, and those will be available for opening day. So make sure you check that out and get your hat and get yourself ready for opening night, because I expect to see you there. And October 18th is coming up pretty soon. All right, we're into the second half of the show. It's time to take a moment to answer all the fan questions for Jack. For those of you just joining us, Jack Robilotti is the newest Gladiator to sign with the club this season. And let's take a look and see what we've got here in the live chat. A lot of familiar faces, always good to see. A couple of new faces in the live chat, which I definitely love. And so, a couple of people commenting on your Yankees hat. You played baseball growing up, or just a fan?
No, I was never a baseball player. I'm just a fan.
Awesome. Nothing wrong with that. Tracy's got some bad news for you. You do get snow every once in a while. So we're not completely out of the woods yet, but that'll be a better situation than the snow from up north. First question
I'll take a little bit of snow.
Yeah, it's better than getting dumped on with snow all the time. First question comes from Penn Campbell. Thank you so much for your question, Penn. He asked, what are you looking forward to when it comes to playing in Atlanta?
Yeah, like I said before, I'm really excited to play for Coach Ginn. I've heard nothing but great things about him, and I've heard awesome things about the organization and how they treat their players and the living situation, the rink. And overall, I'm excited to get to Atlanta. It's a place I've never been, but my parents did live there for a while, and they loved their time there and had nothing but good things to say about it. And I'm excited to play in front of the great fans in Atlanta, which I think is the biggest thing I'm looking forward to.
Stadium Arena asks, who is your favorite Ottawa Senators player?
So I'd say my favorite Senators player is Shane Pinto. He's from Long Island. I actually went to prep school with him at South Kent, which is in Connecticut, for 2 years. So he's a guy who I know very well, and I'm very happy to see him succeeding the way he is, coming from where he started to where he is now is a great inspiration for any player, and he's an unbelievable guy away from the rink. So he's definitely my favorite player there.
That's really cool. Yeah, those hockey connections, man, they're always awesome. It's kind of a small world sometimes when it comes to that. Got a question from Joe Mama. Have you been to Buc-ee's? And if you have, what did you think of it?
I've never been to Buc-ee's. That's the massive gas station, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one with the beaver.
Yeah, I've never been. Do they have those in Atlanta?
I do. Yeah, there are a couple in Georgia. In fact, I think I just read they're opening another location fairly soon. I think it would be their fourth. So we'll definitely have to get around to a Buc-ee's here.
Yeah.
Maybe on one of the road trips, or maybe an off day if need be. Because that is quite the experience. That much I can tell you. Tracy Hayes from the Booster Club asks favorite food and dessert. And this is the person you want to talk to about that because they're going to be hooking you up throughout the course of the season, which we are very, very appreciative of.
So I think I'll go with my favorite food is definitely pizza. So I'll need some good recommendations where the best spots are in Atlanta. And then for desserts, brownies, homemade brownies with some chocolate chips in it, crunchy on the outside, gooey on the inside.
There you go. When it comes to brownies, are you taking the middle piece or are you taking an edge piece?
Oh, good question. That might have been your best one yet. I think I would go with the middle one. Yeah, middle
okay.
one.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go the same route.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that. And then going back to the pizza thing, I mean, of course, New York, some of the best pizza in the world there. Where do you think, or I guess what is the best pizza spot in New York in your experience?
My favorite is probably John's on Bleecker Street. It's pretty close to me. I'd say close to would probably be Joe's Pizza. They have a bunch of locations around the city. But if I want good pizza, those two are definitely my two go-tos.
All right, Glads fans, you heard it first. If you're ever up in the Big Apple, Jack's got you covered on where the best pizza is. Richard Elmore with an interesting one, and I like this one. Who is your favorite teammate on the Bison?
My favorite teammate was Ryan Seedham. He's actually a guy who I grew up playing with in New Jersey. And when I signed, he happened to be there. So he definitely helped me and get comfortable because he was there for a majority of the year. And we're still great friends. I've seen him this summer and we've hung out and skated together. So he was definitely my favorite teammate on the Bison.
That's way cool. Question here. What was it like playing with Cashmere, and any chance you start vlogging?
No chance I start vlogging. I'll definitely leave that to him. He was a great guy. I actually didn't know that he did the YouTube vlogging until after. But he was an unbelievable person. He was a really good goaltender too. And it was cool to see like the vlogging because I kind of got a little behind the scenes look at his life, and it was cool to see that he's doing pretty well on YouTube and in the vlogging sphere. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either. All right, so you're not into vlogging. What are you into? What kind of hobbies do you have?
I'd say for my hobbies is I'm trying to work on my golf game. I think it'll get a little bit better, hopefully in Atlanta when I have some more time to play on an off day. But I've kind of found a passion for cooking,
Okay.
especially this year when I was at Lowell. I wasn't on a dining plan, so I had to cook a majority of my meals for myself. So now a lot of my TikTok and Instagram feeds are full of cooking recipes and cooking videos for so I can hopefully diversify a little bit and just not make chicken and rice all the time.
Yeah, just bookmark them and come back to them later. What was the favorite thing that you've made so far?
I love making lamb chops. The only issue with that is if there's somebody in the house who doesn't like lamb, it will probably stink up the entire house and get pretty smoky in there. So it's better to do those on the grill, but I'd say that's my favorite thing to cook.
Gotcha. Man, that does sound good. I'm getting hungry now. While we're still on the topic of food, Paige Turner asks, what is your go-to order at a coffee shop?
So I like Dunkin'. I like Dunkin's coffee. I probably a little biased living in New England for the last 5 years, but I usually go medium cold brew with 1 cream, 1 sugar.
I like it. Monica asks, any NHL or other pro defensemen you keep an eye on and model your game after?
Yeah, so I the person I try and mimic my game after is Ryan McDonagh. I grew up watching him when he was on the Rangers, when he was the captain during some of those really good runs the Rangers had, and he's an American defenseman just like myself. He plays hard every night. He's one of the most reliable D out there, but he can also contribute offensively, and he'll punch you in the face too if need. And I respected the way that he played, and I grew up watching him for the longest time. And when he finally got to lift the cup, I wish it was with the Rangers, but when I saw him lift it with Tampa, I was happy for him, and he's definitely a guy that I try and follow routinely and watch his shifts so I can mimic my game after it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring up the Rangers, because around the time where I feel like you were probably getting pretty heavy into your hockey career, they went on a really deep run to the Stanley Cup final. What kind of impact did that have on you? And with them being so successful around that time period when you were growing up, what was that like?
Yeah, it was great. It hockey in New York is something that people are super passionate about in terms of watching. In terms of playing, it's a little bit different. It's hard to grow up here and be a high-end hockey player just because there's limited access. You have to go to New Jersey, you have to go to Long Island, Connecticut, the tri-state area. But I really think that the success the Rangers have had is growing a new game and enticing kids to play and try it. I'm seeing it now at the local rinks I go to. There's way more little kids throwing on skates than there was when I was playing, which is something that I'm happy. I'm grateful to see, because it's what I experienced in my youth playing career, and I'm happy to see all these kids trying it. And I think you could credit the Rangers for doing that, and the stars they had like Lundqvist and McDonagh and Kreider when he was just coming on the scene. So these guys really helped inspire a new generation of players.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you really can't ask for much more there. So that's really, really cool. And kind of to relate to that, I mean, I'm from Utah, so I mean, they just got a team. So you can already kind of see that coming into effect. Like, I got younger siblings, I've got friends that are still there, and they're excited to see hockey kind of blow up there, especially with the Olympics coming back
Yeah.
in the future. So I can definitely relate to that myself. Richard Elmore with a good one. Do you lace the right or left skate first?
I'm not superstitious. I don't know. I think it just depends on which skate I grab first.
Good answer. Don't overthink it.
Don't
Tyler
overthink it.
Catton, one of our great ticket reps. Give him a buzz, all right? Give him a phone call later this week. Get your season ticket package secured, all right? And then he'll take care of you during the games. Tyler Catton with a good one. Who are you looking forward to playing with the most on the Gladiators this season?
So I think the player I'm looking forward to most playing is with Mickey Burns. He's a guy who I played against with in college, and we definitely went at it a lot. But getting to know him recently, because we skate at similar rinks, and we actually played on the same summer league team. Just getting to know him, he's a great guy, and he's a hell of a competitor and a great player. And we joke at the rink, like, we'll make this play, I'll find you on the back door, we'll get a couple points here and there. So he's definitely a guy I'm looking forward to playing with.
Awesome. Got a couple more left for you. Don't want to take up too much of your time, so get your questions in before we run out of time. Robbie with a good one. What is your go-to aux song that gets you pumped up and fired up before a game?
Good question. What I've started to listen to more in the gym, and I think it's going to be my new pregame is more like hard rock, like 80s specifically. So I used to listen to more rap and EDM, but I've kind of gotten tired of that. So more rock, more like Nickelback type of head beating music to get going. But I'm not too picky. If somebody wants to take the aux cord in the locker room, they're more than happy to do so. If I get the opportunity to step up and play music for the boys, I'll do so. I hope I don't disappoint. I hope we win that game. But I'm not too picky. But definitely some more rock I've been listening to, and I think that'll be my AirPod music on the bus or in the stands when I do try and get dialed in.
I love that. I also love this next question from Casey Reynolds. How do you ensure that you don't screen your own goalie when you're defending in the defensive zone?
It's a good question. Again, I think it comes down to like communication. Um, if you have a goalie who's a strong communicator, he'll let you know that you're in that shot lane. Um, but it's also just being aware on the ice, aware where the opposing team is, and aware of where you are. So if the forward on the other team is taking the puck out wide, then you can position yourself that's not screening the goalie, but also um, enable you to make a strong play on him, whether that's stick or body. So I think it just comes down to just communication and just awareness, overall awareness on the ice.
Yeah, as we learned earlier in the show, communication is key between a D pairing, and looks like the defenseman and his own goalie as well. Thank you for your question, Casey. Very well done. All right. Speaking of talking, we've got something very cool for you guys tomorrow. State of the Glads, our State in the Union style show. It's going to be the first episode of it tomorrow, August 20th, 6 p.m. right here on YouTube. We're going to be unveiling some really cool stuff. Got a new tagline coming out. Got some info for you guys. Some special guest appearances. One of them may or may not be the president. It's going to be a very fun time. It's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait to show you guys what we have in store tomorrow. So don't miss it. Tune in tomorrow night, 6 p.m. right back here on YouTube for the first edition of State of the Glads. Jack, we are out of time. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you on the ice in a Glads uniform this fall.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to get down there and see all you fans and play for the Glads. So let's have a good year.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Well, everyone, that does it. Jack Robilotti is the next Gladiator to join the squad. Jack played in 8 games with the Bloomington Bison late last season. He was acquired in a trade earlier on in the summer. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in a Glads uniform this season. Standing at 6'3", 195 pounds. Looks like he's going to be a solid two-way defenseman for the Gladiators this season. At UMass Lowell last year, before he joined the Bison, he had 2 goals and 4 assists in 36 games. So, again, kind of as we talked about earlier in the show, Coach Ginn kind of touched on, he's got the ability to be a solid defenseman, keeps plays to the outside, uses his stick length, using his height to his advantage. But at the same time, as Jack mentioned himself during the show, he has that ability to join the play and get some pucks towards the net and chip in offensively as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Jack can do on the ice for the Gladiators this season. And if you want to be a part of it, make sure you get your single game tickets. They're on sale. Go to atlantagladiators.com. You don't want to miss it. And, of course, join us for the first edition of State of the Glads tomorrow, right back here on YouTube at 6 p.m. And, of course, as always, if you need a little bit more to get your Gladiators fixed in, follow us on social media. We're on X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Smash like and subscribe. And check us out on LinkedIn, too. Not much of a LinkedIn guy, but doesn't hurt to drop a follow. So, without further ado, I think that'll do it for us here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight for the latest edition of the Player Signing Show presented by Lippes Mathias. And I've seen the live chat tonight. I know you guys have got some awesome ideas coming up. I like this one. Should I start vlogging road trips? Should we bring some of that stuff back? Let me know. Smash like if you think we should do some road trip content this season. And, of course, as you guys know, thank you for your awesome questions. I will see you back again tomorrow night for State of the Glads. And make sure you come back on Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time to find out who the next Gladiator joining the squad is. For now, I'm Guy Carenza saying good night and so long, and thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the Player Signing Show presented by Lippes Mathias. You take care and have a good one, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.